I think we need noir tonight. We need noir. Not slate. Not documentary. Fucking noir. Fucking noir. Uh, Guess I better just fucking sit here, huh? Cool. Cool. I guess this works. There we go. All right, chat. Come on. Come on. Come on now. This is when listening to ideology in my ear works, because now I could just sit here and entertain myself by just staring blankly at you guys. So, oh, I just flipped off Stefan. Well, one of you fucking showed up. So, what MC? Uh, Angsty, Nihilisticy. That's about the summary of today. I didn't drink a lot of this last night, but I'm going to guarantee you this is going to be fucking done by the end of it tonight. In fact, to at least prove I'm determined to that accomplishment. Oh, so tasty. Did you see hilarious Ben Carson memes? I always am, in touch with some Ben Carson memes. That was ludicrous and dumb. Like, I can't comprehend that. I can't comprehend his stupidity. Like, I don't care if he's the best brain surgeon in the world. I'd trust the worst brain surgeon in the world before I trust him. Dude, I had an anomaly of a day today, dude. So, it's fucking terrible. He's so amazing. He writes his own memes because he's not a beta. He ain't no beta. 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 God damn it, Paul. Okay, I can't pay attention to Paul shitting on his chat. Where the fuck is the rest of it? I can't shit on you. Like, you're unshittable. But the rest of the chat I can shit on. What the fuck? Well, this made my night. Like I can't even, like, I'm trying to get my brain to work right now, okay? Because it's not working. It really ain't. To be fair, it never is. But, like, I'm trying really hard to fucking, like, have any, like, cognitive anything right now. I didn't even want to do this, honestly. I was just like, do I even want to fucking stream? Do I even? And here I am, fucking streaming. So, no turning back on that one. I'm not going to do a 5-minute stream. That's retarded. So, I'm going to be here for the long haul. Even though it's the long haul could go however long it's going to go. So, but But what was I about to fucking say? See, my brain ain't cooperating right now. I just need to be inebriated. That will help. Inebriation helps. Altered state of consciousness helps. I'm just pulling my pants up because they are fucking just fucking weird on my pants legs on my legs right now. Ugh. I have long johns under my pants, and my pants were just not cooperating with my long johns. Focus, ignore. You are live. You are live. As I proceed to drop literally everything. Oh my god. But, dude, so today at work, fuck. I show up. It's not too bad when I show up, right? It's actually kind of slow. That was bullshit. My first assumption of work today was bullshit. Actually, I kind of already knew today was going to be a little off. I overslept. So I was slightly late today. I was like, God damn it. But I wasn't really too bad. I was only like 10 minutes at most. I think like 13. So it wasn't too bad. But so it's a little slow. Not too bad, right? An hour in, it's nonstop until fucking 8:30. Like, we eventually were just like, you know what? I'm going to be slammed, okay? Just go to lunch, and you're probably going to be slammed too, but I'm going to have to go to lunch. So we did that. I smoked a fat bowl during lunch because my brain was already, like, starting to feel like the end of the day at, like, 6. So I was just like, fuck, man. And we didn't, like, get to closing anything until like an hour later. It was just so absurd, dude. It was fucked up. And didn't get out until an hour later. Like, I'm just in the mood. Like, I'm in the mood for like someone to come in this chat and be like, hey. Like, I'm in the mood for some shit going down, but ain't nothing going on now. So I'm kind of sitting here, just like, just gonna have to rock myself back and forth. I mean, I what at least got me through, at least for closing, is the Non Sequitur show had a debate between Aaron Raw versus like some creationist retard named McMurphy or whatever. And he was just some poor old bastard. He was just literally some poor old delusional bastard. I honestly felt bad for him. But Aaron Raw just absolutely obliterated him. Absolute obliteration, annihilation, decimation, something Asian, like fill in the blank Asian. Sounds like most Tuesdays for me, lol. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, it was just really an anomaly of today, and I'm just like ready to murk a bitch. 6 hours of class, overly rushed commute, 8 hours of work. Fuck that. Oh, Bandito. Hey, buddy. Hey, Bandito. You precious handsome boy. Hi. Oh. You want attention? Oh my god, yes you do. Yes you do, Bandito. Oh, hi, buddy. Hey, buddy. You don't help me become nihilistic. You help me become, like, no. Well, hi, buddy. Special guest of the hour right now. Oh, curls up in his little ball. Oh my god. No. Oh my goodness. He has claimed his seat right now. His seat has been claimed. God damn it. It just like comes out of nowhere, hops on my lap, and it's just like, yes. Oh, you fat boy. You fat boy. Oh my god, you're just so fat. You're not even fat, you're just thick with fur and just thick. Oh my god. What the hell? What the hell? Ugh. Uh, uh. He's like clinging to the bong. He's rubbing up against my bong now. What, you want to smoke? Is that what you want? Hmm? 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 Oh my goodness. Ugh. Ugh. I like, you take up so much of my lap. You're not like any other cat, dude. Like, I have to like do this shit and like look at oh. What are you doing? What are you doing? See? Like, I have been claimed. I have been claimed. And he's so huge. I have to like I'm stuck. I'm actually like stuck. I'm fucking stuck here because of a fucking cat that I know if I put down will just be right back on my lap, so there's no escape for at least a good 30 minutes or more or less. I don't know. It depends on his mood. Well, I was going to smoke, but I think I have a cat to pet and get toxoplasmosis and become slowly more insane. Have to get it directly. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm getting a bowl. Whether you stay here or not, I am smoking weed. Okay? This isn't anything for you to be concerned of, lest you want to get inebriated with me. You thick purr ball of a cat. Kitty marijuana fire, that smoke. Hell yeah. Let's go with that. He's like such a very light purr, but when he purrs, it's like, he does like that. He kind of like does his very gentle purr, but then he every now and then will go, just like sigh, yawn, purr at all once. Oh my goodness, bandito. You can just barely see his face. The only way you can tell where his face is just by the little whiteness of his face right there. Okay. Are you enjoying yourself? You are enjoying yourself. Aww. Just looking up at me. What you want, boy? What you want? What do you want? I didn't honestly expect him to just like come out of nowhere and just be on my lap right now concurrently. Thought I was going to talk about Aaron Raw, but I guess I'll continue on with that, I suppose. But that dude, like, Aaron Raw is actually really cool. I think you might like him a little bit. But he just absolutely destroyed this fucking dork McMurphy on the Non Sequitur show on a little debate on whether humans were created or evolved, basically, and it didn't even get to that main premise at all. It didn't even go there. It was just arguing whether, like, it was they argued like they couldn't even argue like the basic premise of evolution. They were arguing about that because the other dude was talking about multiple theories of evolution, basically, or something, even though there's only one. Ah, you little chomp munch. What the fuck? You chomping me, boy? And you're purring. You're purring at the fact you chopped my hand. Weirdo. Anyway, like, he didn't even understand anything about evolution at all. Not only that, he tried to say that there was like evolution contradicts physics or something. So thus evolution isn't true. It's like, what the fuck? Because I guess supposedly there's multiple different theories or something, and it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you even like? What? Because I guess he supposedly used to teach it in high schools or whatever, but he obviously didn't. He didn't even know jack shit about it. It's just delusional fucking people, dude. Oh, you leaving me now, boy? Oh, you leaving me? Have I not satisfied you for me to be a lap? Little fruit. It actually isn't a litter box, so I think that's the premise of his conclusion there. Oh god. Chemical warfare. I gotta be ready for that. Gotta be ready for that. Bernie announced his support for legal weed today. Didn't he do that like in 2016? He's kind of always been for that. Like, even back in 2016, he was kind of talking about legal weed, so I'm not surprised. And I kind of knew that he was going to be for that anyway. It's kind of a no-brainer. You're like, yeah, Bernie's for weed. You can just tell. There's certain people you can tell. Like, yeah, you smoke weed, so I know you're for it. I like how you can only see one of my eyes. It's nice. Looks like I'm half the demon I really am. Actually looks kind of fucking menacing. I like it. So I think noir is my new favorite black and white aesthetic currently, at least in this setting. Oh fuck! Ah! Ah! Fuck me! Fuck! I knew it! Oh, the second it hit, dude. God damn it. You little fucktard. Where are you? Where the fuck are you? Where are you even? You're not even around. Oh, you're lucky, little son bitch. We have like multiple fucking litter boxes, and the one you decided to take a shit in is the one I happen to be fucking next to. Ah! Jesus fuck. Well, that just peaked non-nihilism back up a little bit, so. Okay. We're back. I think we're back to normal levels, because at least he's smart enough to like totally bury his shit so it's momentarily. Some of our cats like half bury it, so it stays for a while. He's smart. So I give him respect for that. He doesn't do all-out warfare. He does like light bombardment strikes, kind of like the U.S. foreign policy. Instead of just full-on invasion, they just kind of do light bombardments and shit. Special strikes, as they call it. Carson announced that he's leaving early in 2021. 2 years early. I guess he didn't want people to forget that he exists. I forgot he exists just now. Like, he's really irrelevant. Like, after 2016, he quite literally became pretty relevant. Like, he's part of the Housing and Urban Development, like, agency. Like, first of all, you're not, like, what fucking requirement do you even have for that? Makes no sense, dude. You literally got put in an agency. It has no fucking, like... He's the Jeb. The Jed. He's the head. I'm assuming that means head. He's the biggest achievement is upgrading the furniture. Nice. And forgetting his luggage. My luggage! My luggage. Like how my eye just pokes out for that. My luggage. But hides away after that. I should do like I should get like some like black ink fucking makeup or some shit and experiment with that. See what like comes out of that situation. Cause I can see some shit. I can see some really intense shit. Yeah, I think I'm seeing some ideas. Yeah, I'm seeing ideas. I should do that. I think I might do that. It's like all of a sudden you just see ignoring blackface or like half blackface and I gave up. Pretty much what that's gonna probably be. Me attempting blackface, but I give up. So you can only be, depending how much I have, it can only be about, I would say 1/8 racist, 1/8 offensive to about a quarter offensive. I think at most you would have to be a third offensive, just by a third at most, because there's no way I'm doing my whole. There's no way, dude. That's gonna take too much time. I'll just like leave it around here, like my face, like have like a very creepy smile going all around my face, like, and then just have blackness around these beady white eyes, and just do a stream, just literally like just like very slowly blink with just these creepy fucking smile, not saying anything to you or anybody, just consistent silence, and just like over time you might see me like zoom it very slowly more in. Just a little bit more slowly. Oh man, that'd be creepy, dude. That'd be fucking creepy. I'd do it for like at most 20 minutes, then I have to fucking give up because there's no way I can that for like 20 fucking minutes or even longer than that. And especially staring at myself, that even I'm gonna creep myself out. Like that creeps me out already. So I'll have to either like stare off somewhere or just I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Like I want to be able to stare at myself for that long, or else I'll creep myself out. I'd be like, fuck, even I'm freaking myself out. Ooh, but oh, what the fuck? There's like no one else here. No one else has decided to like pop in and say hello. Not even Joe, and he's always here. Damn, damn, brutal, brutal. Just like the whole environment of today is just nope, not in your favor. Not gonna be in your fucking favor. Rick, fuck that. You sleep, fuck off. Your fucking streams, done. Nay, no more. It's like, God, fuck. What's a man gotta do to have a little chill around here? To be fair, I haven't even touched this yet. I've just been holding on to it, so maybe that has something to do with it. Ah! Bring on the nukes. Bring on the nukes. The mighty nukes. We need the Duke of Arch England to launch the nukes. Yeah. I don't know why Englandton or whatever the fuck I said, but there you go. It's that guy needs to launch the nukes. The Duke of Arch Wellington or some fuck. There we go. The Duke of Arch Wellington needs to launch the nuke. Okay, I think if I could stop fucking yawning, I think this is loaded. And this will be smoked. One thing about Bandito coming in and invading my space when I'm about to smoke weed is there's fucking cat hairs everywhere in my weed. And I have to like pick them out one by one. Granule hair by granule hair. If I pick it up at a certain angle with my fingertips, I can get it out. God damn, dude. Dude, like, what the hell? God damn, Bandit. Do you have to, like, demand you shed, like, all over my weeds? Damn, that was a long one. Like, what the hell, dude? This is shit I have to deal with every now and then. Not even to a fault of my own. It's just because it's fucking pets, dude. It's just what happens. Like, whether they were literally here, like Bandit was earlier, or whether it's just for the mere fact they existed in the same area as happened to be smoking or whatever. That, it just, ugh. Ugh. Smoke the hair. It leaves a really bad burnt smell. And plus, I don't think that's not necessarily a good idea. I don't think it will do anything negative to your health directly, but I'm pretty sure it irritate the fuck out of you if you try to smoke that. I mean, you're smoking proteins, and you're basically smoking the broken down compounds of protein and shit. And burnt protein. I mean, like, they can't even be broken down, really, or ingested, at least. So, I mean, why would inhaling it be better? And, oh, now I got, like, a fucking itch on, like, the inside of my nose, too. And I just want to, like, do, like, a quick little and get it out, and just, like, ugh. But visibly, that doesn't look pleasing, so I'm not going to do that. Because, goddamn, it's annoying. But usually smoke. Just smoke in general helps out with this bullshit. I've noticed this. Like, if I have stuffy nose, like, one side is just not, it's, like, totally clogged, and the other side is, like, and this one's, like, and you can just barely get it out. For me, at least, it helps. Like, it will just expand out and be like, ah, whoa. It'll be really watery and very runny for a second, because out of all that shit just becomes, like, fluid. It's kind of gross. But damn, does it help. Well, I noticed every about 30 minutes in on these streams is when I smoke. Peculiar. Okay, good. Captain Fall. Tasty. Tasty, tasty. I suppose we could see what might be going on this thing. Squelch.
AXL's Jim Ferretti has her cautionary story. Jim Ratio lives across from David W.
Oh my God.
Sunday morning, a neighbor's security something over her backyard fence. He believes it was the same thing that her dog Tad found and ate.
The people at the vet's office thought it was rat poison, so we left our dog there. And it was a hugely expensive bill. That bill was like $2,500.
She called Multnomah County Animal Services, which is investigating, but tell me it's too early to say exactly what is happening. Dan, however, is convinced it was intentional.
What this person did is not okay.
At this point, no other dog owners have come forward to say their dogs are also sick. Jim Ferretti, FM
Oh
News,
shit, I guess someone's trying to poison dogs in
Show.
some neighborhood, I guess. Damn, son. That sounds like what's happening. Like, what the hell? Dude, there are like some fucked up people. Like, just recently, like Tyler just was having to deal with like some dude or a group of dudes around his neighborhood fucking killing cats and shit, which killed a couple of his. And I think I remember there was probably one time on stream where that was mentioned. I'm like, dude, you might want to have a gun on standby on that one. And I was like, that was like a time where I'm like, defense necessary. But I mean, I don't think he has the cats anymore, which kind of fucking sucks. It's just like, damn. But like that's really more frequent than it should be. These stories of people fucking like going out of their way to torture or fucking kill animals. This is like a real I notice this happens to be just a fucking that it seems to be a thing that I notice that pops up every now and then, not just here, but just around the country, even around the world. And that's just like my main question is like, there's obviously some fucking mental problems for one. So, like, what would... no, like, there's obviously a key relation for mental illness. There's probably some form of sociopathy or maybe psychopathy. Definitely a very huge disconnect towards emotion or just kind of like, you know, like emotion towards life in general, like which aren't inherently wrong. There's a lot of people like that or go for their whole lives without even harming anything, but there's some people out there that just do, and that's just fucked up, man. Like if I ever found someone like near my fucking like property fucking attacking like any fucking pet, I'd go after attack the dude. Especially if it's my pet, I'd probably fucking like defend my pet with my life at that point, because my main thing is like, what's the mentality or even the motive, you know? And I guess for some people there ain't, besides just for their own sick enjoyment. And I don't know, it's just fucked up, because I can't really imagine just doing that, you know? Damn, got dark. I like how this old stream is meant to be like nihilistic in a sense, and then I just go out of my way to talk about some shit where my empathy comes out, and I'm like, not at all. My nihilism probably like, who gives a fuck? There's no meaning to all that. But yeah, that one was just a different little story. It's just like, what the fuck? What the hell? Just utter. To quote Kevin Sorbo, disappointment. I had to get that out. I just had to. I was able to get away with it, at least quoting Kevin Sorbo. So, let's see, he literally said that in a fucking film, just out of nowhere, just yells, "Disappointed!" It's just like, oh, goddamn. All right, Kevin.
There's another contender who is coming in and going to throw his hat in the ring once Sharon can move her out of Colorado, and I'll talk to you about that. But also Jerry Nadler, who is a Democrat, he's chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, because all of those positions switched, as you remember, when folks on the left ended up taking control in the House. So now they've decided that they're going to really go through and go full gear into the witch hunt because think about this too. The Mueller report, when I don't even know even if it's made public, which it may not be, is pretty much essentially going to be it's going to be a nothing burger. There's not going to be anything in there, and if there was anything in there, it would have already been looked at this time. So the House Judiciary Committee, they've decided that they're essentially going to...
Oh, they're still trying to say it's a fucking nothing burger. Do they know that investigation's tied more to than just the Russia investigation? It also goes into his, like, Trump's business operations, including his financial businesses and shit. Like, it's not just about Russia, where they're all trying to get him on collusion or something. In fact, that for that case, it is. But if you want to look at the whole investigation, there is something, and it's not a nothing burger. So it's just like, you're not, like, you won't get them on collusion with a foreign state, but you can easily get them on corruption charges, emoluments charges, fraud. Like, there's a lot of different things you could get them on, easy. But the whole narrative of, like, he is Putin's puppet, it's just absurd. Like, he pulled out of the INF treaty, like the international, like the whole thing where, like, you know, making sure Russia and the US don't fucking do a nuclear arms race again, like that treaty. Like, Trump pulled out of that with Russia. If he was a puppet and colluding with him, wouldn't he have stayed in with that and probably made it even, like, it probably worked with him to make another treaty on top of that or something? Like, wouldn't he, like, not do that? Wouldn't he, like, not go to Germany and be like, hey, buy all oil instead of Russia's oil and shit? Like, would he, like, or bombing the Syrian airbase with Russian aircraft in it? Luckily, none of those were damaged or harmed or whatever. So it's just like, really? Come on. Like, you can't get him on that. Like, that. And I'm surprised that people still try to get him on the whole he's a puppet thing. It's just, no, it ain't gonna work. You can get him on plenty of other shit, and the investigation is going into a lot of it. But that ain't it. It's more about Russian interference in the election. I mean, sure, but, you know, there's nothing really much you can do to Russia specifically. You just have to enforce your own security and improve security measures within your own election systems, which I'm totally okay with. Like, I think having a more secured election system where it can't be easily as manipulated or interfered with by domestic or foreign states is good. So, I mean, I'm for that regardless. Though at this point, Trump wasn't directly. Yeah, which, I guess if you wanted to go after the whole Russia narrative, then they need to stop looking at Trump and his campaign aides, because he probably wasn't directly, and I don't think he was at all. Like, if anything, he was having business deals with Russian oligarchs, but that just ties into this whole financial corruption ties into the investigation, because he has ties with Deutsche Bank and other international oligarchs just as much as the Russian ones. So, to me, that's just kind of a moot point. You know, it's like there's so many fucking things you get with them that are all just tied in to that. You know, I mean, like, because if we wanted to, like, I mean, because this whole, like the main thing where this whole election interference thing came from was just, like, literally trying to deflect the whole thing narrative that Hillary did it to Bernie. For one, like, because I noticed that started to happen shortly after Bernie lost, and they're like, and people started calling out election fraud and meddling within the DNC, but they're like, oh no, there's actually, you know, collusion or meddling within Russia and Trump instead, and deflecting instead of actually owning up to the bullshit, which they never do. So it's just, ugh. Like, that was definitely, I noticed that was the first point, and then after that, they just kind of went full on with it and just went unapologetically Russia narrative for a very long time, and for a lot of pundits and talking heads, still is like, ugh, yeah. I need this fucking heater on. God damn. Ah. It's party primaries. Or should be. That's kind of the problem. The system was built in so they can do that type of shit, and it shouldn't be allowed or legal for the most for that aspect. Yeah, I have the cap right here. And let's go. It has to be fair. And again, I mean that's kind of, I feel like that's the problem. I mean, there should be. Like, I mean, a primary should be fair amongst the candidates, at least for their own organization of their campaigns. Now, the people's popularity of them doesn't have to be fair. Like, I don't think people should fairly, like candidates equally. Like, people are gonna like who they're gonna like. But when it comes to like who's running in like primaries, I think everyone should have like that fair equal shot in those primaries, in a sense that they get this at least a similar amount of airtime, if that makes sense. They should all definitely be able to participate in the debates regardless of popularity until they drop out, and then they, that should be that should be at least a definite. And then like, I mean, I don't know all the specifics about the at least the Dem primary specifically, because the Dem and Republican primaries are so fucking convoluted and fucking complex and ridiculous, and both of them are different anyway, which is just absurd. It's like, ugh, they operate differently, and yet we're supposed to be like some fair democratic elected system here. Yeah, we're not. So yeah, there should be. Yeah, I mean, like, there were some amended changes into the primary system, but it just needs to be totally destroyed in the standardized primary system for any party or any side, put in place. Like, I mean, honestly, I think there should be nonpartisan primaries where, like, regardless of your party, everyone runs in the same fucking primary, basically, and then it goes down to the last two. Kind of like an open primary. That's just like an open nonpartisan primary, basically. But that would be like my ideal thing, but whether it's nonpartisan or not is kind of irrelevant for the most part. It just kind of makes it more like, hey, anyone under any party can go into it, because at that point it's more about what they're advocating for, not their affiliation, essentially. So, like, that would be at least my main argument for that. But like, that point isn't necessarily the primary issue, but primaries across the board should just be open, though. That's a definite given. Republicans have a better primary system. They kind of do. They do. It's funny. Like, we have a super delegate, like, electoral system. Like, we have an electoral college within our fucking primary. And it's even worse when we have those in close primary states. That's even worse, because there's less likely of chance for people who may be wanting to, for example, vote for Bernie Sanders but are independents, or maybe Green Party, and that's their actual party affiliation, and then they can't vote for Bernie, for example, because he's running as a Democrat. So there's definite problems with that, and like, that's why close primaries is just like, it's more roadblocks for people to have their opportunity to go vote for what they actually want to vote for and actually believe in, and what they think is best. try to model the changes after theirs. Superdelegates have much less power now, which is good. I just don't know how much that really is gonna make an effect. So, overall, like, I mean, I don't know what the most ideal system would be, but I think it should be standardized across all spectrums, regardless of what party it is. And I think, you know, open primaries should be the standard regardless. But, yeah. But I don't, but for like all this key little details, I mean, I don't know specifics about it, but you know, I know for sure that the whole superdelegate system's absurd. Closed primaries are absurd, like, and you know, these like electoral style primaries instead of actual vote primaries, like kind of how the Republicans are a little better, ironically, are about it. You know, like that, like those are, you know, major problems. Not, you know, like, like that's kind of why, you know, during 2016 Bernie almost didn't make it, because if we were to have hypothetical like open primaries across all states during that 2016 elections, I honestly think even with the corruption, Bernie would have won, because then there would be likelihood of independents or even some Republicans too, and even Green Party or Libertarian candidates. You know, people who actually would listen to Bernie are actually kind of like the idea of him, and even if they disagree on some issues, will vote for him. I mean, close primaries takes away that potential. And if we're trying to like come out with for our constituents, we shouldn't just look for our base constituents, but also just American constituents in general. So I mean, if you're running for president, you should also open your ideals not just to the Democratic primary, but also kind of branch off to others too. So the close primary just basically puts a wall, with a tiny little door with a deadline for, depending on what state, the deadline would be like 6 months before the election primary, or up to like a month, depending on state. I think for Oregon it's like a month or a month and a half or something, which isn't bad, but it's, again, it shouldn't even be there. So, you know, like there's a lot of potential for, you know, for there to have been candidates or, you know, different outcomes of elections if we were just to have that. And I think it would have, over the long term, definitely be a lot better for the state of our country compared to this weird little mumbled jumble confuddled bullshit we have. Like, certain things just need a federalized standard. Like, that's why I think Europe runs so functionally, because there's a lot of shit they just know need to have a federal standard with. And then with other things, they know it's alright to have some regulation with. Some things they know they don't need to touch. Like, and for, depending on the country, they all think, you know, slightly different on what the consensus is of what, you know, the state should do or not do. But they all at least have a rational idea of what the federal standards of certain things should be. So it's like, for the U.S., it's just everywhere, like a congealed mess. It's like, no wonder shit doesn't get done. We're just a congealed mess. Like, I don't even think it's the fact we're just such a melting pot. I think it's just because there's a lack of organization within the actual system in itself, and then the people that exploit it make it more messy for people who actually want to try to fix it, you know, can't, because of how fucking messy it is. So it's this fucking loop. But then it backfires with stuff like Article 13. Sure, yeah. I mean, because that's, you know, because that's when, you know, that's why, you know, there are things like protests and like marches and shit to try to, like, when politicians or just agencies or governments go against what people obviously don't want them to do, and they aren't listening. Well, only better way to do that is to just halt their state in some way, and then do mass protests and organization and make them change. I think the feds are too corrupt as well as they have too much power. Yeah, I do agree, and especially in so many different aspects. They have lost power in places where it matters, like with the EPA and shit, and they have too much power where there shouldn't be any fucking federal power at all, like with the NSA. That shouldn't even be there in the first place. Like, that got fucking started during the Bush agency. It wasn't even there before. I'm sure we had an agency that did something like what they did, but never to the extent it was. Like, I mean, like, there's just certain agencies in this government that just need to be outright abolished. And some of them need to be just supported and, like, funded extra big time. Like NASA, for example, or like the EPA, like I was mentioning earlier, or the FDA, too, even. I mean, there's just all sorts of different agencies that have too much power and have sucked out the power of where it actually matters into things that are useful. So it's just, or like even federal, the Financial Protection Bureau too. Like that's another one. That's actually really good. And then that one got gutted. So I mean, there's a lot of different agencies where there needs to be more power and sucks out from the power where there's way too much in government. Like military is another one too. Just overall on a whole big aspect of that. I mean, like the DA is another one that got too much power in. What else? Like with the FDA, they're kind of 50-50. Like they're very corrupt in a lot of ways, and in a lot of other ways are actually quite useful. So I mean, that just needs to major reforms. I mean, there's a lot of problems with our government where they have way too much power, and this is where I agree with conservatives, where like, yeah, I agree. For specifics on these issues, we should have a lot more limited government. FDR just corrupt. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this entire fucking government is, to be fair. Like, the EPA is corrupt, and that's why it's so weak, because the corruption crippled it. Like, the agency itself isn't the problem; it's the corruption within it. I would say the same with the FDA. Now, agencies like the NSA, with the NSA, I would say that uh, they are like, that's just overall too much power in general. Don't agree. Look at Trump's cabinet. Which ones? Because there's different ones that are neocons that are totally okay with Trump's administration. There are a lot of them that are starting to be resistant to him because they're realizing he's big gub, basically, and not doing what they think he should have been doing. So it's the conservatives that are always talking about limited government. Like, you have to switch their language on them. You have to turn it around and use it against them. That's kind of why I mean, like, I agree with them on the whole idea of limited government on these specific issues, because the best way to actually get them to kind of be on your side on key issues, especially with issues like this, is to flip their language around them, turn it against them. Not necessarily, for literally against them, but it's just reverse psychology, essentially. Casey from Paul Ryan. Okay, I'm not really. Oh my god. Ugh. Yeah, but I'm mainly talking about just people, not people in government. It's people of the country. Just random people you might meet who claim to be conservative or whatever. Claim or think they are. Yeah, when it comes to government, though, no fucking conservative in there is going to be limited government unless it's for their opposition. Basically, I mean, but we all know that he's pretty much, or we pretty much know that all of them are just basically these just totalitarian shitbags. There we go. That's whatever this is. Boop. Probably turn that down a bit. Huh. Just trying to figure this fan out. Trying to figure out which side is like. Yeah, whatever. I'll just leave it off for now because I'm actually kind of warm. I was like, how do I have like low heat, like where it's not like fast fan, so weed doesn't fly as I'm trying to do stuff, and I couldn't tell, so I was just like, whatever. I'll just turn it off for now. That'll be easier. That'll be easier. Conservatives have been forced to move to libertarians now. Yeah, I mean that's essentially where a lot of these conservatives kind of lean, is kind of a more libertarian leaning-ish position. So I mean, I feel like they kind of already were somewhat lumped in with them to some element or another. But I, especially now more than ever, I can see that. I mean, because there's been like just as much as there has been on the left. I mean, on the right, there's been a lot of different polarizations, within their own side too. I mean, just because we're not, in their little echo chambers in their own little circles, I mean, doesn't mean they have them too, for sure. Because I mean, there's like a new wave of anti-war conservative movements coming out. Not as many, but there's a few of them. And there's a lot of them that are obviously still pro-Trump because they kind of have to have the sense of loyalty to the great orange hope, just because he's kind of the top dog and kind of running the GOP's like presence basically. So there's a lot. There's also the ones that are, of course, the alt right and also like the new right, and then just the straight up neo Nazis too. But those are a little bit more far few in between. The ones online are authoritarian. It's pretty hard to be pro-Trump and libertarian. Well, logic and rationality never really was in their favor in the first place. Let's be fair. So, I mean, again, that's why I have to kind of go based off like the claims of like what they say, because if you talk to them one on one, like you're not going to get any real core concrete thing. It's just going to kind of go anywhere and wherever they kind of feel like at the very moment. So, I mean, you're going to like a lot of them are going to claim to be libertarian, but also be very pro-Trump. So, logic or rationales never really was up their alley. So, I mean, you have to also take that into consideration when dealing with them too, because a lot of them don't tend to be very hypocritical and very contradictory. How about Hickenlooper K6 2020? That's just dumb. I'm gonna laugh. I will laugh. I'm going to legitimately laugh. I'm gonna laugh at them because they're miserably hilarious. Hickenlooper announced Hickenlooper cereals. Sweet. So when's this cereal brand coming out? Hickenlooper cereals. I mean, you got to get yourself a box of Hickenloopers. I mean, they're delicious, man. Have you ever had them? They're good. Hickenlooper is way better than Harris or Biden. Lol. God. That's not even by much of a margin, but yeah. No, Bruno. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't even know anything about him. I just know that he has a hilarious name. So I just make fun of his name. So that's going to be the core of his existence for me, is just his name. I'm just going to make fun of the fact that he is a cereal brand. He was pretty good governor in Colorado. Well, that's good, at least. He supports Medicare for all. At least seems like he would. Though. I'll have to see what his wording is on it, because you always want to try to look at their wording when they say that they're for it. Some of them will use weasel words and not actually be for it. His big issue is he used to be an oil lobbyist. Strike one, you're out. For me, that's just okay. Problem. Hold your brakes. No. See, that's a problem to me. I just can't. No. As soon as I heard oil lobbyist, nope. No. No. It's no better. Like at that point, at least in that issue, there's no like when it comes to climate change, we just know better. So no, ugh, ugh, bleh. Oil lobbyists. Gee, exciting and so fresh. Hickenlooper's cereal, so fresh and so brave. The number one cereal of Exxon Mobil. Does have the bullshit of Biden Harris? Well, with Biden, I can see him being pretty pro oil too. So I don't know if there's too much of a difference on with him with those two. But Harris, she's just a corrupt cop, and she's kind of unique in that nomenclature. Kind of unique on the field with that being a cop in the Democratic primary and being very corrupt. Oh, like she should be running in the Republican primary, but nah, because they love their police over there too, especially. So, I mean, she'd get a decent little run, and plus, then it'd give the Republicans an argument and be like, "See, we have our token minority too." They would do that, so I think they'd like her, honestly. Even though they don't care about it, they would still play the identity politics. Like, in order, like, for these people to get so caught up in the whole PC outrage bullshit, they have to basically, be a part of it and participate in that themselves and do their own PC outrage as well. And I just don't. This administration created the first methane capture regulations for oil and gas companies in the entire country. The rules prevent it for leaking from hydraulic fracturing wells. Cool. Should have done that with oil too, but I mean, I guess that's a start. I mean, we should just be waning off that shit in general in the first place, not trying to make it better. Because the industries that would replace them would just be so much more profitable. Just on the economic standpoint alone. Like, I always try to push like the whole like the earth kind of requires it narrative, but not so much the economic narrative. I need to try to push that more because it really is like when you transition to such a new industry and especially one that's fresh, I mean, and hasn't really had much research in, like, if you are like the first ones to find these technologies and shit, you get to patent them, right? So if a country, so let's say, because China's doing their own, developments and research into renewable technology now. If they were to complete it a lot sooner than us, which it probably is, they're going to be able to patent this technology. And if they are, they're going to make money off of it. So basically, if you want to really do the whole like, hey, let's be competitive with our enemy type of thing, do it from the economic sense of like, hey, let's make the better fucking technology and like try to save the world in the process. Like, because I'm totally okay with like in the forms of like economic competitions and essentially, but but it has to be for the benefit of of not just the states that are doing it, but just kind of for planning it for everybody too in that sense. Like, it shouldn't be for just specifically like for a few people like we have it now, like a few oligarchs or a few companies or a few people. Technology should be open. It should, yeah, but I mean, it's because how a poor country is going to afford to pay patent royalties. Yeah, like I mean, like when it comes to all these technologies and shit, it should be publicly funded and patented basically by the public, which then the public gets to reap the benefits of that, and they're the ones who are also getting the benefits of the technology too. So pretty much it would be a whole like unitarian, like publicly beneficial thing overall. Not only are you environmentally helping your local climates and also the global climate, but you're also saving money on your bills, and you're also happen to get a little extra because of the royalties you get out of it. Plus, I think for at least other countries, they shouldn't even really pay for it. At least like the royalties of the patent itself. Just I guess like a minor, very like a 2% tax on their, or like a 1% tax on the cumulative wealth they make off of their energies or something. Like I mean, I'm sure there's a way you can do it without having to cripple poor countries trying to boost up their own technologies, because if they should be the ones prospering from it as well. So I don't know what would be the best way to go about that, but I think like if I think like a good compromise would be like a 1 or 2% tax on like the cumulative profits of their energy accumulation when it comes to at least for this specific industries for renewable energies, like because that wouldn't really peck in too much into the specific country, but accumulative of all these countries doing it, you get a little nice fair share out of all of that. So I mean, I feel like that'd be a nice little compromise, because then they can still have a most of their wealth to do what they need to do, to help boost their own countries, and plus, it also helps out everyone, kind of everybody else in the process as well in that case. And then plus the money tax can be given to third party or third nonprofit organizations to help bolster these third world countries and second world developing countries to boost up their infrastructure and their industries as well. So I mean, that's how I would probably do it in a sense. Like have just basically all the monies just cycle in a loop, just benefiting the whole industry in itself, which for the public and for everybody in that case. Because then, essentially, no matter what, all that money will be invested into the whole core of that system, and it's just going to stay within it. And of course, over time, you make a little more, and plus, you'll over time make more money off of it. How about this boost the economy in general? Take a lot of manpower jobs, and we need it. I think it's something we need. Like, we have such horrible underemployment and stagnated wages on top of living wages. Having these public infrastructure projects instilled in place will help out with at least with job creation for sure, and plus maintenance of the infrastructure, and plus people to work on them long term. Oh yeah, and can replace the dying coal industries in rural areas. Oh yeah, very much so. Let's try to fold it with the infrastructure, also rebuild the obsolete bridges, etc. Oh yeah. That's kind of what I mean. Like, with these public infrastructure projects, like have every state have, their own project where they go district by district and just rebuild it. And they take it one at a time, and they take it from the most poorest into the most like desperately needed to the ones that don't need it. Like, so take it from like the least developed to the most developed, and just go up that ladder. And that would be like my level to do that essentially. And if because like with places like Michigan and shit, there's like I don't even know if like going district by district will be best, because there's so many places that are fucked up. Like, if that place, I just go town by town and just rebuild everything in the middle as you travel between place to place. Like, I mean, there are certain places that just need to go from 1 square mile corner to the state and go to the other square mile and cover every fucking square inch of the state and just rebuild it. Like, some places just need that. And then some places, they just need to go sector by sector and just rebuild those sectors at a time. Except extreme right support that. Yeah, pretty much anarcho-capitalists will not support it. Anyone who's like read Ayn Rand and fetishizes nothing else but that will agree with it. to mitigate the potentially unpopular loss of coal in some states. Oh yeah, like I mean, like there are a lot of very coal heavy industries, like in West Virginia and shit. But I think in long term, these people will definitely prefer the benefits and of these new energy sources and new ways to do energy. And I think for West Virginia, I think I don't know much about what like sources they have, but I know it seems like wind could be a potential, hydro maybe. Um, I I don't really see much potential for solar considering it's pretty much kind of stuck in the middle of the Appalachians. Um, maybe like I don't. Maybe I mean nuclear is always an option, but usually the meltdown effects tend to be somewhat catastrophic. So that's always kind of a back of my mind thing. So I never really been that big of a fan of nuclear, but it's not like bad necessarily. It's just a if it blows up or something, then it is. But for the most part, they tend to be relatively safe. But there's like what else? I know there's other energy types that West Virginia potentially could use, um, but I'm just kind of blanking on the names of specific types right now. They don't really have any access towards like water or anything, so that's anything related towards hydro or aquatic forms of collecting energy is just out of the picture. But but with anything else, I mean, take advantage of it. Try it. Hell, geothermal maybe. I don't know what they got for that, but fuck it. If they have any source of that, do that. You know, like I mean, whatever sources of renewable energy potentials you have, take advantage of them. My roads, where are my roads? Has hydro as second biggest energy source? Oh, I was totally wrong. Never mind. Okay, well, they should just invest more into that then. Goddamn. I was wrong then. See, I didn't know much. I was just making some assumptions and some guesses about what they could potentially do, but I guess that hydro is in the picture for them. Cool. Import energy from another state. Oh yeah, that is right. You could do that. Yeah. Because there are some states that will probably have excess in energy just because of the resources they have in that state. So they could potentially make more money for the state too if they export it out to other states that will need it too. And then there could be trading within states as well on top of that too, because then that energy would be seen as so valuable. So I there that's actually a good idea. I didn't even think about that. I totally just out of my head on that one, but that's actually not a bad idea. It's actually like that would definitely be a pretty good idea because I mean, like how else do we like get energy transferred anyway? Just get like if you just don't have like primary sources, just go to another state for it. I mean, like that's the whole purpose of trade. If you don't got something but the other people do, and they might have something that you got, well, commerce. There you go. Virginia has the Atlantic Ocean wind turbines or in water turbines can be used. Yeah, like West Virginia could just trade with Virginia, and then Virginia can like transfer a lot of their ocean energy plant energy that was collected over there, and then whatever's inland can just be used for Virginia, and then West Virginia can have their ocean energy, or vice versa. However they want to, however the states think is best. I mean, however they think they could work that out. Or solar. West Virginia technically has a higher solar potential than Oregon or Washington. Really? I'm wrong again. See, I didn't think because they're stuck in the Appalachians, I wouldn't think they would have potential for solar. But again, I'm not a scientist knowledgeable on this shit. So, oh, good night.
Give me a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's it at? Oh, there it is. Never mind. Yeah, there you go.
Some weed. Bong.
Yep. All the supplies.
There we go.
Yeah. I was just over here because I was kind of shivering. I'm like, I'm just gonna use the heater.
You're good, man.
Yeah. Man, today was brutal at work though, dude. It was an anomaly. Like it was slammed all day.
Worked Monday, wow.
Yeah, like I didn't get out until 11. So it was brutal. Ugh. Oh man. Like one thing was what was really crazy was like it was really busy yesterday, but it wasn't really too bad.
For Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday
Like I don't get why it was so busy today or even yesterday. Maybe it's just because it's the beginning of the month.
Well, because some people only get paid once a month.
Yeah.
For disability or SSI.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing about there wasn't no weather scare or nothing. Yeah, there wasn't no weather freak out about like snow or nothing, so people weren't freaking out to go hide out and huddle in their rooms and shit, so I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was about today.
It's the first.
Well, it's the 4th today, but yeah. Because the 1st was Friday, and I'm sure that was pretty bad. Then it was the 2nd, and that was okay. That was steady all day. The Sunday was like, it was slow. We had a fat rush, slow, fat rush up until like 8 and then died. And then today it was just nonstop all day.
Wow.
All day. Just nonstop. So many immediate efficiency solar photovoltaic modules covering 0.6 of the U.S. land area can meet national electricity demand. Damn. I mean, potentially we could. Like, we can, like, we don't even need to make, like, a fat plant. Like, we can make, like, these very thin, long plants. Like, just build literally just a fat, long plant on the side of a highway. And then you have just this long stream, like, from east to west, and you have all that just going, and all of them can just follow the sun. That'd actually be a pretty good efficient use, and have them go, like, 10 rows deep. Just, like, a 10 row by, like, 10-mile long solar array panel plant. I mean, it seems like it'd be over cumbersome just how long it'd be, or I guess wide technically, but it could work. I mean, it wouldn't be really no different to it, just it being all condensed to one spot, but it would just be extended out instead. Electricity generated from geothermal power plants are projected to increase from 17 billion kilowatts in 2017 to 65.75 billion kilowatts in 2050, has potential to exceed 500 billion. God dang. We just have the current U.S. capacity. Damn, son. So geothermal has potential. I mean, we like the entire middle U.S. kind of sits on a fat geothermal plant. If you think about that, I mean Yellowstone. So we have the potential to harness Yellowstone, and we can use that to like that would be the most American thing I could think of. Just harness the energy of Yellowstone and just power America with it. That's like, I don't know if I could think like we're harnessing the natural essence of America to energize America, like in the most literal way possible. Dang. Move it up a bit. There we go. Oh, just did a nice little. I can put there. That nice little back pop. Oof. Alrighty. Alright, see you tomorrow. Or whenever.
No.
Turn it back on. NSO3 Green New Deal could be solar panels on every building and wind turbines on all the most efficient places. Yeah. Totally. The wind turbines stay Did he even mention offshore? Oh yeah, like offshore wind turbines. That's, I think, the best place to put them. Honestly, if you want to put them anywhere, is there, out in seas, because that's where a lot of our wind currents kind of come into, from out in seas. I mean, if the wind turbine stats mentioned offshore, I bet that'd be a lot more. There'd be way more potential than there is currently. And I think there is for sure. I think the main negative about wind is that it potentially can kill birds migrating with the blades, and also potentially change wind currents over time. Which I could see, but at least especially for the birds. But the wind current one, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I could see that, but wind currents isn't just like ground level to like 5 whatever miles up. They're like it affects the entire atmosphere of the Earth. It's not just like so in that sense, I would find it a little bit hard to believe that it affects wind currents that severely. I mean, I can imagine maybe in a direct vicinity, maybe, but not so much like directly, on such a big scale. Yeah, then people won't complain about them fucking up the view. Yeah, that's one complaint I hear a lot about it. Oh, it's disrupting view. So fucking what? It gets you energy. Quit complaining. You want to try to have a campfire with a little generator and a little lamppost outside, you fucking weirdo? It doesn't. Right-wing bullshit as per usual. A university team did an actual study on it. Oh. Yeah, it was, I think it was before anyone did any studies on it, because that was something I heard a while ago, and it was just kind of something that came up in my mind again. Like, that's why I don't know about it, because I think it's bullshit, which if the study shows, probably is, which I think it is usually, because it's like, wind engine can do that. Like, because that's why I said the only thing I could think of was that. And it just popped out of my mind out of nowhere. It's like, there's this one weird thing that I think could be a negative, but other than that, I don't think it's really true. It just seems bullshit. One total bird death over 3 months, and it was hit by their car, not the wind turbine. Damn, dude. Solar is much more dangerous for birds. Big arrays and solar panels can literally burns birds straight out of the sky. Well, yeah, because it's literal direct sunbeam energy reflected, and they just happen to go directly into that beam. So basically, think of like a laser beam, like from like a laser gun that's shooting an infinite perpetual laser, and the bird just happened to walk right into it. That's pretty much what happened. And for those glass-plated skyscrapers, they're more dangerous for birds. Yeah, because they'll literally fly right into it. That's why a lot of our skyscrapers, I've noticed now, tend to be very reflective. Like the Big Pink in Portland. That's very reflective and pink. So, which I think, plus that just makes it cool aesthetically. Like, why not make, skyscrapers have, like, these crazy colors and shapes? Fuck yeah. Do that. Don't make them, like, see-through or some dumb shit. Subsidized solar panels on private buildings? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Not the Big Pink. Not the Big Pink? I'm calling it the Big Pink. That's what the fuck it is. I call that shit the Big Pink, okay? It's the Big Pink. What is it, the Big Dick? What's his real nickname? Because I nickname it the Big Pink, and I don't give a fuck. That's what I call it, and that's what it will always be known to me. The Big Pink. Because it's big and it's pink. Well, kind of pink. I'm talking about the type like in Southwest Waterfront, next to the tram. Oh. Well, you ruined my fun. It is called the Big Pink. Well, I can't totally contextualize chats until they all come out. Those are the dangerous ones for birds. Talk about that time. Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Okay. I know what you're talking about. It took me a second to be like, what? Okay, hold on. If he's not talking about that, then what is he talking about? I'm like, Oh, that building. Okay. Yeah, that one's just like, why not make that like at least make it like distinctively like a thing, so even something as simple as a fucking bird can understand. You know, like we should be like, because we're supposed to at least be. At least the idea is to be aware of our environment while we're doing this shit, and birds are a part of that. Buildings, there's like 7 of them. Yeah, and it took me a second to realize it's like, okay, you're talking about this area and that building. Okay. Because I had a totally different I had downtown Portland in mind, obviously, because I instantly thought the Big Pink. I wasn't thinking, like, Southwest. So, I just had a totally different area in mind. But, there's actually another one being built. There's actually a couple being built, so there's more like 8 or 9 now. And, I mean, the high school and the library's even getting rebuilt. Like, the Leading Library ain't there anymore, dog. Like, our fucking library is being... Like, even the fountain next to the fucking place is gone. They took out the fountain. Like, dude, the fucking fountain? Know how many times I've just sat there and, like, smoked weed and just chilled? And just, like, hang out? Like, played music there and drawn stuff or whatever? In Milwaukee? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know the high school got taken down. They're building that up. And they got, like, this apartment complexes where the Bernard's garage was. I shouldn't be naming the little places of these businesses where I live, but... I mean, but you know what I mean. Like, the garage, and, that's next to the line, you know? And then, and next to the whole transit thing. And the library, too. I know the school was converted into a trailer park. Dude, I call that fucking, what? I had a nickname for it. It's not just I didn't think of a trailer park. I thought of what did I name it? What did I name it? Oh shit, there's apartments now? Yeah. The first level is gonna be businesses, and then like the next 4, like the second level to the 5th level are going to be apartments. Which this building is going to kind of stick out like a sore thumb in the area it's at. Oh, those must be fired next to the Max station. The food carts are. Food carts are pretty good. A little spendy over there, though. Ah, god damn it. God damn it. I'm dropping shit. I'm dropping shit. God damn it. Sounds good to me. Where we have a housing shortage. Yeah. I feel like they could, I mean, there's areas on the other side of Milwaukee that I noticed that could have easily been used for development. So, I mean, I don't know why they couldn't have done something over there instead. Next to transit lines, even better. Yeah. I mean, to the whole, I mean, the whole town in general, the transit line is pretty much right next to everything. Trying to do it right. Oh. Seems like it. I mean, they're having double-decker buses, too, which is pretty dope. Yeah. Where's my... I haven't even really sipped this much since I've been here. I need to catch up on this. Okay, nice second. I've been hearing about it. I haven't seen it. I've been near the area, but not like there. But I've been hearing about a lot of developments over there. And to be fair, there's been a couple developments around Portland, off and on, I've noticed. Every now and then, I'll just see a little construction crew working on some shit. I'll be like, alright, right on. There's at least something happening, you know, infrastructure-wise for the public industry, so that's good. So, I just think we need to have, like, an actual, like, infrastructure project plan in place to, like, go through a lot of the major problems right now instead of just going through these tiny little details and things. I mean, that's kind of my main thing. I think, on top of what's happening, there should also be like a separate infrastructure program project by the city, to kind of go through a lot. Like 82nd, for example, is so bad. It's just so bad. Like, that entire stretch of road in general, from top to bottom, just seriously needs total rehaul in general. Like, like, there should be a project wherein they start there and just go, like, westward and develop all of, like, eastern Portland and shit, because, my god. Like, there's definitely, like, the differences between West and East Portland is basically, like, West and East Germany. Like, it's like, goddamn, one side looks so, like, rich and, like, bloop. And then you got, like, the other side, and it's like, goddamn. They're working on it 82nd really slowly. Well, they should be speeding it the fuck up. They got no, like, reason to work on it slowly. That's the thing. It's like, they don't need to work so slow on it. Like, there's plenty of people here that need jobs and want jobs, and some people don't give a fuck what it is. Like, I mean, like, have, like, a whole program, like, for a month. Do, like, a whole hiring program for 1 month to, like, get people, acquired and, see about what, and train them a little bit about infrastructure works, and then, if they don't have, requirements yet, and then, basically give them fat lists in the sectors of town of that need to be developed, and just give them a certain deadline, and be like, hey, in 5 years, get all these sectors, or, like, within, like, 2 years, get, like, these sections of the city developed. And, yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel like there's ways that this can be done. And it would need to raise the budget or cut other programs. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, you would have to, like, it'll have to be, depending on, like, how big will we make these sectors, per se. Like, will we do them by, like, hey, we're gonna do, like, I don't know. Like, if we were doing them by, like, a mile by mile, like a square mile sector grid, I can see it being feasible. Like, hey, we're gonna cover, like, this, like, 5 square miles, chunk of the town, and go through all those sectors, and then just develop those, and then go to another serious area and do that. So you can't make the money from nothing like the FedEx can. Yeah, and that's the main, that's just kind of the downfall to a lot of cities. That's not just really for Portland, but for places like fucking Detroit or Chicago and shit. It's feasible. It's just based on a yearly budget. Yeah, and I think, like, again, I think, like I said, it is feasible. Like, I think, it just requires a specific plan, and it has to be organized, essentially, which is why there needs to be, like, we're doing this, alright, now we got our manpower, alright, here's how we're gonna do it, alright, we got that down, alright, execute. It has to, like, be a very regimented type of thing, which, unfortunately, bureaucracy tends to show the opposite of that. Try to make money from nothing. Well, to be fair, they got their own share of fucking problems that can't even be compared to Portland, and I can't even begin to, like, talk about, because I don't live there, and it's just they got their own fucking problems, man. I mean, they got their own shit of things that they got to worry about. We just got to worry about basically incompetence and some corruption. We don't have to worry about that much. Oregon's pretty lucky when it comes to the state of current affairs. I'll give us that. We still got our problems, but goddamn, I have to say that compared to the rest of the country, we're a little bit better off compared to everybody else. Which, thank fuck. Like, I'm sorry for pretty much everybody that doesn't live here, but goddamn, I love it here. I love it because, like, we got our own opiate, homeless, and suicide crisis. We got our own housing crisis, but pretty much a lot of it is corruption and incompetence. There's so much other shit that so many other parts of the country have to deal with. PRs, money in politics and schools and infrastructure, just all sorts of stuff. Everything in between, dude. Like all sorts. We don't really have as much compared to a lot of the rest of the country. It just a lot of what the country deals with just bleeds into us because of course we're gonna feel the same shit that the rest of the country does to some extent. But I think those are the main issues for Oregon. I mean, politics, schools, infrastructure, housing crisis. Yeah, I think so. Because I think a lot of that will help tackle a lot of the other issues that are in place too. So I don't really have any objection. But I'd probably add like just another issue or two. But that'd be like my only objection, but that's more of an addition, not an objection. So I need my ganja. 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 These two little nuggets will be just fine. I mean, my body feels very nice and warm, but my legs feel like they're fucking popsicles. State level universal healthcare. I mean, that should be at least a start until our fucking... Hold on. God damn it. You still work. Yeah, you still work, so you're fine. Whatever. I'm just driving it like a retard. And there we go. Now I'm starting to feel it. Alright, there we go. Jesus. What was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. I think that'll definitely be a good idea until our country at least gets it instilled. What's my charge? It's my church. Oh, not too bad. Cool. Cute. Oh. I don't mean to like totally digress into irrelevant topic, but I just found out something that really kind of threw me off guard for like a reality spin. And I didn't really need to know this, but there are people out there that actively try to get HIV and AIDS. Like literally actively, as they call it, bug chasing. Like, why do you want fucking HIV, you fucking delusional psycho? Like, you know that's like the death, that's like your death warrant? Like the death fuck? Like it's the fuck that will kill you. Like it's the shebang bang that's your last shebang bang. Feel my drift. Well, maybe not your last shebang bang, but it'll be like... Then I'll be like, ugh. Trump gets another term focused on state level stuff, working completely away. Yeah. I mean, with a lot of different issues, that tends to how it puddles down towards the federal level. Like with marijuana, we're starting to see it just a little bit. I feel like we'll see a lot more in the future, but currently, you know, it's still at the state level. And I think, you know, over time, if Oregon leads the way on different state issues, I think it could potentially also, on top of that, lead the way on a lot of issues, so other states will follow suit and copy our similar ideas, which hopefully they do. I hope they do. Definitely need to do it. Like, more states should be copying the marijuana idea. They should be copying our, mushroom policy too. When hearing about that, should be copying like even other countries' policies on things. Like Switzerland did all sorts of cool shit too before, and it's just like, damn, we should be following them on certain issues. It's like, that's awesome. Just dive in the most polluted river in the country and get there. Oh my god, dude. I could never go in the horribly polluted river. Like, I literally, like, the Willamette River is the most I will ever go when it comes to, like, dirty water. And the area we go to, though, isn't even really that bad. It's just mainly in Portland, and we don't go that deep in for the water to be that terrible. But, oh my god. There's just some... Sorry, I'm allergic to the Willamette. But anyway, I'm allergic to pollution, I should say, actually. Because I go swim in that river frequently. And, or at least in summers. So, I shouldn't say I'm allergic to it, because I would be dead if I fucking came out of that. But, yeah, there's just some parts of that river is like, oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. How does anything survive? Take some more of these motherfucking Girl Scout cookies, dude. They weren't here today, but I still had more from last time I got some, so... My feet are getting nice and warmed up. I like it. Stay level. Just it's a new one. Yep. Master verification. Yep. No objections from me. Achievable state level and national level. I think a lot has to do with that. It's just mainly because other states can then now look at the data results of what that state has done and prove, like, oh, this actually doesn't seem too bad of an idea. And then as more states execute that idea, at some point then the federal government will have to be like, okay, a lot of states think this is a good idea. Maybe we should implement a whole federal thing to just have every state just be under this type of thing. It happens over time eventually. So, which is why, for a lot of issues, for the state levels, not bad at all. But, just for any issue, really. Like, because in a lot of ways, that's like how, like a grassroots starts. It's usually by the local communal level, that rises up for the, municipal level, and then that rises up towards the state level, and then that starts rising up on the national level. So, that's kind of how, that's kind of why, with a lot of, that's why with like marijuana legalization and that's why that's been working so efficiently, and that's why the feds haven't done anything yet. It's because too many states have legalized it now by this point, and there's been too many states that have it medically legal and are also just already doing their own forms of decriminalization or getting into the process of legalization medically or recreationally. And they just, if they were to step in, they would face a serious backlash. So I think, over time, it eventually becomes state pressure to the feds to be like, hey, the people all like this idea. So many states are doing this. You should probably just do it on a whole big federal basis instead. You probably have the easiest citizen initiative process in the country. Probably. I don't know about every state's initiatives, but I bet we probably are I probably think we would. Trump and co won't even support legal weed. Trump doesn't give a fuck either way, and his administration is very questionable because I know a lot of them are against it, and some of them are under his mentality. I don't give a fuck. Like Trump, like if there's one thing he's somewhat been consistent with, it's the fact that he thinks marijuana should be left to the states. So basically, when it comes to this whole marijuana thing, right now we're in the status quo, in stagnation. Like we're just gonna see more states legalize it before any actual things happen to the feds yet, until he's gone. But it could get somebody worse. But there's potential that that's not going to happen. But there's a likelihood. There's a likelihood we could. come, Kamala. Give power back to the states. Fuck the one size fits none. War and corruption. Yeah. Seriously, dude. Yeah, because I think one thing, I think a lot of conservatives tend to misjudge about a lot of people on the left is that they're not, like, for state powers or whatever. Like, I am 100% for that. In fact, I think that's how a lot of different policies get pushed on a national level is due to the fact that state policy proved that a certain state policy proved to be successful and other states adopted that type of policy, or that's just proven to be so popular that the federal level has acknowledged it. Like I think that's with a lot of policies. I think for the state level, that's how a lot of it gets started on the national level. Not always, but I think for certain policies and certain legislation, yeah. But that's so. I think that's just one thing that I notice is a big misconception about people on the left is that they're not like for force power for the states or whatever, because that's something that I'm not against. Because at least for me particularly, it has to kind of depend on what the issue is. Like, because if there's states trying to pass anti-abortion laws, and with the principle of, hey, power to the states, I'm not going to agree to that. If anything, I'm going to shut them down, trying to do that type of shit. But, if, so I think it'll just have to depend on the issue for me, at least personally, but I've never been inherently against power to the states, in that philosophy. I think it just depends on what specifically that would be because, there are just certain things that shouldn't be passed because most state rights, tries to push it. For some issues, it might not be agreeable for me, but for other issues, yeah. Like if I think if states pushing their own personal gun reform legislation, then I'm not against that. I still think we should have that at a national level, but to really fix and solve our problem with gun shootings in the country, it needs to be a national level. But if a state wants to imply their own policy, I have no problem with that. Like, if they want to have like their doctor-assisted suicide law, I have no problem with that. In fact, Oregon has one. And if they want to have like their own like drug policy reforms or something along those lines, I have no problem with that. That's another issue I think should be on a more national level. But if a state does it, I got no problem with. There's various different issues where I don't mind a state having control of their own policies and stuff. Because, like I said, I think a lot of it will eventually bleed up to the federal level. Not always, like I said, but, depending on certain issues, like with marijuana, for example, we can see today, like, it started at the state level. Well, more specifically, the communal level and the grassroots movement. And then it started at a more municipal level, and then went from a state level. Now we're seeing it spread nationally. It's only a matter of time at this point until some federal administration legalizes it. I don't think we're going to see that under Trump, but that would be a fucking curveball if he did. Like, executive order, legalize marijuana. Tremendous. That'd be tremendous. No fucking lie, that'd be tremendous. I think it should be decentralized. It doesn't really make sense to me that California and Wyoming should be under decentral regulations. Because it just kind of depends with what those regulations are, I think. Because there should be federal standards across the board, but at the same time, I don't really got any issues with them doing their own things again, like I said. But like if we have carbon emission regulations or something like that, every state should follow that period, regardless of what demographic or what geography they're in. YouTube is fucking garbage. YouTube is fucking garbage. Quote of the night: executive order, legalize marijuana. Tremendous. Yeah, dude, for real. It'd be tremendous. God damn it, YouTube wanted to fuck up. It literally, like, you're not gonna live stream anymore. We're gonna put you on the main menu where you can record videos or do a live stream or upload videos. How about, no, I was already doing one, you stupid fucking cunts. God damn, I was in the middle of a very insightful conversation that I totally forgot now. Because I'm a stoner degenerate. Good suz. That was the exact text of the executive order also. Oh my god, if that was the exact text, I think I would, I think that I could die peacefully. I would want to actually order like a physical copy. I want someone to literally like physically stitch out like like as much like to the near identical piece and him signing it identically. Like I want that. I would frame it. I would frame it proudly with Donald J. Trump's name on there. Proudly. I'm not even fucking lying. I would get a fucking copy of that if however I can, or just get the real fucking thing. Don't ask how I'd get that, but if I'll try. I don't care how, and I'll put it on a fucking plaque and it frame it, and then proudly display that right on the front room. Like I would do that. He just wrote on a piece of paper, just handed it to Ben Carson or something. I mean, isn't that kind of what an executive order is? President just like types out what he wants to do, prints it out as an executive order, signs it. I did this executive order. Only for him, I think it'd be crayons. I mean, I guess I could potentially copy it. Just buy some crayons and just do it in the most childish way possible. And I'm like, here it is. Is it identical? Oh my god, that'd be pretty hilarious. Oh man, oh man. Tremendous. At least we know with Trump, he ain't no beta. Beta. Shortest executive order ever. For real, dude. My god, that would be so short. Just literally will say executive order. Legalize marijuana. Tremendous. All caps with spaces in between and asterisks to make it bold lettering. Oh man, goddamn, dude. Oh shit. Who would write tremendous on an executive order? I guarantee, dude, he's the only motherfucker who would write tremendous on anything like that. Like, he's also the only motherfucker during, like, the first Korean summit, or, like, no, during the, second, NAFTA, treaty. Like, when he did the NAFTA treaty over again. So, there's three, so, it was basically, so you got Trudeau, Alamo, or whoever the president of Mexico was at this time, and then Trump. They all have their own copy of the deal. Guess what Trump does? He uses his copy, signs his name on all the fucking lines instead of signing his name, passing it down, and signing the copy of the other nations. And then you can literally see Trudeau just have like you can see in his head. You just hear Curb Your Enthusiasm intensifying in his head, dude. How would JLP react to that move? Amazing! I now can openly smoke this because People who smoke marijuana are not a beta. Beta. I ain't no beta lesbian. God, his fucking like the way he speaks, man, it's crazy. He would start smoking the reefer to honor his Lord and Savior, the Great Orange Hope. Yeah, dude. Yeah, the Great Orange Hope, man. I know he didn't say. I bet Trudeau actually plays the trumpet also. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I can see it. I can see it. He looks like the guy who could. Or smokes a trumpet fire. Dude. That just kind of reminds me of the time where we were at the Boost Fest and saw the Dusty 45s. And that guy playing his trumpet fucking lit his trumpet on fire. That was intense, dude. That was intense. That was amazing. Amazing! I like how I tried live streaming the Blues Fest, specifically. Probably wasn't the greatest idea due to the connection, but next time I think I'll record it. Like I did last time. Record a little show. I mean, there's a lot of show going on, so there'll be plenty to see. I wonder who was in here momentarily. I saw a second viewer for a while. Disappeared after I had my shutdown for some dumb reason. Because of YouTube fucked me over. Curious. Curious indeed. Those are the ones I love. Those mystery watchers. Because I can just kind of go off about anything and have a feeling they're at least listening to some of it. It's like, hey, right on. Right on. Popping in for a second. I have a feeling those people are probably like trying to browse through live streams and be like, this seems interesting. You know, to like check out, you know, when it comes to like probably like doing something in the background, just listening or just playing a game or something like that. Because that's what I usually do. A lot of times I'll play these, play like a stream. I meant to say play these. What does that even mean? Play like, you know, just random little streams and just play a video game just for like, and then when I'm done with that stream, I'll finish up that game, go to another stream, and play another one. In fact, I might just play Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 tonight. Actually, like, one thing I noticed about this with the Linux adaptation with that is my scenario, like, I try to make my own scenario because I want to do a Let's Play of a map I used to do when I was, like, fucking 8 or 9 that I made, and I'm trying, like, and for some reason I can't find it now. It's just like, motherfucker. I'm gonna have to, like, work around with the game settings or something about that, because I feel like, you know, it's in there somewhere. I just have to find it. Because it's like, oh brother. Because I really want to do, like, that so much. And plus I have a park that's saved, and now I can't find that save. Because I'm like, if I can at least find the saves, then I can at least do a Let's Play of, like, the Build Your Own Park scenario, which is just somewhat similar to mine, only there's a lake instead of a coast with a cliff. And with, like, a little creek. Like, that was the scenario for mine. Like, I had this coastline, and then I had this mountainside, but on the by the time it got towards the cliff or the coast, it became cliffs, and then from there, I had a little creek on the other side with a little hill going with a little hillside on that. That just kind of stopped eventually, and And so far, like, I also remember having this little like food court area on the side of the hill, not the hillside, but the mountainside with the cliff. And damn, like I'm just imagining this park, and I really want to rebuild it, bring it back to its fucking former glory. I mean, I can't pick out what specifically that would, its glory in its verbatim, but I can bring it back out into a more bigger, better way with a new mindset into it. Because it's one thing I notice is I'm trying to like make these very crazy, rides and shit, but it costs me a lot of fucking money in the game. So I noticed from my what game was this for? I missed it, some of it. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. It's my childhood. Like I'm not even kidding. That game was literally my fucking childhood. And and so far like it's playable, but saves they don't show up. That's like the only thing I've noticed. And I think it's just because it might be saving to some weird way, but the little menu for bringing up the saves doesn't fully want to work. So it's just like, god damn it. So I think I have to just like tweak around with it a little bit and make it like see if I can get the game windowed. And if I can have it just windowed, then maybe I could potentially fix that. Because then I can work around that idea, I think. So tonight I'll work around that and see if I can fix it. It's not something I think it's solvable issue. Don't like unable to find saves even though the game literally has saved and type of shit, like I could tell it did. Even with my scenarios, it's like they're hidden somewhere. They're somewhere. The issue can be resolved, So it's just like I just need to find out how to fix that. So I think it's just I think I just need to have the game windowed instead or something, which I think will make that process easier. And plus, it will make it a little easier for recording the Let's Plays too, because then I can pop in and out on the OBS too, until at least I get my second monitor in place. Because if I can get that in place, maybe I won't have to worry about that as much. But until then, I'll have to figure out something else. So I'll figure it out. But it's an amazing game. I recommend checking it out. Just look it up. It's awesome. I don't know if you've ever played it, but it's something I remember as a kid before. Like I remember during the summers, whenever I wasn't hanging out with my friends, like during the weekends when they were like, I remember when my friends were always like going out on vacations and shit, like in elementary and stuff. Like I had a few, and at least on my block. And whenever they weren't able to hang out or whatever, I would like literally spend fucking hours at time playing that game, just hours building up a park and getting up to like thousands of guests just enjoying the fucking place. There's like now that I play it, there's not only a sense of nostalgia, but there is an interesting sense of accomplishment. It's pretty interesting. It's like, ugh. And plus the 2D graphics, I mean, they're really good. Like the graphics themselves still they're outdated, let's be fair, but I think when it comes to 2D graphics on a whole as a whole thing, it's still held up. I think it still holds up because like it's like despite the 2D graphics, it's all still pretty crisp. Like the rides still look pretty crisp as a thing. Like the guests are, I mean, they're just simple little figures, I mean, they're not complex things at all. I mean, and this it's interesting. It's an awesome game, honestly. Like, you should check it out. It's awesome. Halo's my games, kid. I tried getting into Halo. I never ever got an opportunity to really own it, to really get into it. So, like, I played it on it whenever I had a chance, but never really got to. So, never ended up being mine as a kid. Like, mine were like PC games like Age of Empires, Civilization, SimCity 2000, Age of Empires 2, like various different flight sims too as well. I mean, all sorts of different shit. for a while, like I had PS2 games. Like there was a Star Wars game. I think it was called Starfighter. Like I love that game to death, and I played it through all the way until the final mission. But the final mission suddenly didn't want to play. But what happened was somehow my CD like got slightly cracked. That was irreparable, and basically was like, damn. Halo 1 and I think 2 works on Linux. Oh, cool. And Halo 1 has a remake with epic graphics and new features. Oh shit, that's awesome. I love it when they actually like don't really change an aspect of an old game, but they just remaster it. Like that's what I like. When they kind of remaster it and implement new features that didn't used to be in the game but now is kind of a part of the game. Like I like that type of shit. I don't like it when they try to remake it but remaster an old one. Like they literally go back to the old game and just hash it out but just leave essentially all the fundamentals of it. That's what I love. I love it when developers do that instead of fucking up a whole thing instead, because that happens not just for video games really, but just in general for any entertainment. It happens too often where people go back into something, try to remake it or reboot it or something, and it just ends up being shit. It's like, oh god, what the fuck? Ugh, why? Oh. Or it doesn't even like take away from what the initial thing was. Like with Total Recall, it just seemed like a dystopian action flick, you know? Like the initial Total Recall was like, it felt like a fucking Total Recall. But the new one didn't really feel like that. I mean, even the initial Star Trek, it took me a very long time to get over. The very first film. But then I accepted their premise of the whole, you know, alternate timeline scenario, because because the whole philosophy of that was kind of interesting too. And plus, the way they did it made it possible. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll accept it. Took me a while, but I did. And my only beef is that the alternate timeline, there's just some things and holes, or not really holes, but just there's things that are so different from the initial timeline that don't need to be changed. Like the Enterprise was built in orbit, I think, off of Jupiter, I think, or one of Jupiter's moons or something like that, or off of Mars, I think. I forgot which planet. It was an orbiting dock, a construction dock that was in our solar system, and then in the alternate timeline is built on a ship station or a construction facility in Iowa. That's not needed. Like that part of the timeline didn't need to change and be totally different. The main reason why that is so Kirk can have his foreshadowing looking up to the starship he's gonna captain eventually. Like that was just the whole reason why that was there. It's just like you don't need that. Not at all. Like it could have been, like theoretically that could have been a different Constitution class starship, but I mean, come on. When you have to literally, like, when it's in the alternate timeline part of the canon, that doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I don't know. There's just a few things now, just pick at it, but it's just pedantic at this point. So, I don't really make those arguments anymore. It's just like, whatever. Part of it's part timeline. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it is a different timeline, so technically, shit can change, so I can't really get that, you know, fussed up about it. So whatever. Funny thing is, it was the third party that remastered. Microsoft wanted nothing to do with it. Bungie provided new service, so multiplayer lives on. Oh, cool. So it wasn't even like Microsoft or anything like that. It was just like other developers who gave a fuck about the game and loved it. Were like, hey, let's remaster it and have more people come back into it, and you know, let's make it better now. It's just third-party developers who just kind of had a passion for the game, probably, and we're just like, hey, let's remake it. Exactly. Those are the type of people that, you see, like, Hollywood should should take notes of that type of shit. Like, I think, you know, if they were able to just, like, fluctuate their writers and, like, story creators and just get random fucking people and like people who are like certified in like certain communities or like a part of, you know, like for example, like a Star Wars or for something, you know, like the Force Awakens and the Last Jedi. The story aspect is just terrible, and it's just basically a rehashed version of the original story. It's just like, oh my god, what the hell? I mean, I remember on my stream of Tyler 2 nights ago, or 2 or 3 streams ago, we basically just went off on like how we think, you know, the Star Wars, you know, like the whole story could, you know, how the story could have been better. And so we kind of picked at the prequels a little bit. I didn't really delve into the new one, but Tyler did, and I don't even know. I lost track of what he was even talking about after a certain point. I'm just like, I'm just leaving it up here so people can try to comprehend what he was saying. Like, because he just kind of goes off, and I think he just really overplays the fantasy part of it, of all these characters, and it's like, like I wanted to really offer my aspect, but I kind of lost what my initial one was, and I'm like, I'll try to delve into something else, try to get him out of this. So I don't know if it worked too well, and then you showed up, which definitely helped us derail that, so that worked. That worked out. But goddamn, that one was long. That was very long. Last night I was about to wrap it up, and right before I wrapped it up, my phone died, and I was just like, God damn it. It's like, I couldn't wait like 2 more minutes, phone. Like 2 more minutes. Not even that. It's like, God dang it. Got like a crick on my neck. Ooh. 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 Ah, man, that feels good. I didn't even do that. Try to pop my back. Some of that I just did at the stretch. Oof. It's nice to just have a nice twist stretch, because then you kind of like loosen shit up. You kind of like, and just kind of like everything inside just kind of like twines up a bit, and it's kind of releases. Kind of makes it more relaxed. It's like Apparently there's a Halo 2 remaster I didn't know about also. Oh shit! They pretty much remastered all the Halos. That's cool. Well, not all the Halos. They didn't do the third one, but it seems like they mastered the first 2. That's cool. That's awesome. Kudos to the fucking whoever did that. Because it wasn't Microsoft, because we know they're a piece of shit. I can't even tell how much is in here, dude. Like, yeah, they skipped 3, 4, and 5. Third one never came out on PC. Oh, damn. Yeah. And now 6 will be released on PC for some reason. Huh. I don't get these games that are just like specific console or like are specifically PC. It's like, just make them on all fucking platforms. Like, it's all platforms, you know? It's like, let every fucking gamer of every shade and color and every fucking system fucking play the game, you know? Should have been the last one. Now Microsoft's just milking Series. So of course they are. They're gonna milk that teat until it's dry as sand, and they're probably gonna still try to milk it even then. So, I mean, did they try to make like? Wasn't there like films? Like, wasn't there Halo films that were made? Like, I know I remember seeing like the production, and then like the first 15 minutes of like a Halo film that apparently was made. And I thought and honestly, it looks pretty fucking cool. But I remember this in like 2012 or some shit. I don't know. I don't even know if the film is actually a thing. I mean, is it? Am I having like a weird Mandela effect shit happening, weird thing going on where I'm like thinking of something that really didn't happen? And I just saw some weird, obscure fan made YouTube video because they're like, I like Halo, so I'll pretend to make a 15-minute film adoration of Halo. I missed some of that. I'm just saying if there was like a film that, like a Halo film, like a movie of Halo. Like, cause I think I remember seeing like somebody make like, or had a video of like the first 15 minutes of like a Halo movie or something. I think it was called like I think it was called Halo Reach. I think it was shortly like around the time Halo Reach came out or something. But I'd a kid. It might have been. Never seen it. Yeah, like I've always heard like rumors of like a Halo movie, but I've never known the name of it. Which Halo Reach is a game. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, I know it's a game, but I'm saying, I think the movie was called that. I'm not too sure. I don't even remember really what it was called, but I think it was around the time that game came out. Because honestly, like I was starting to really get into game when Reach came out, and I was like, I want Reach, I want to get that. So, never did though, but, no, like, I could have sworn. I sworn there was. I'm not too sure. I'll have to check that out later. See if there was, cause that actually does kind of make me question if there was or not. Cause I remember this. I remember seeing like a little video on it. And I think also like people behind the scenes with like the actual equipment, like they actually had a custom made warthog that acted like a fucking warthog. It's just like, oh, like these things actually could be made. We could technically license and produce warhogs, like the fucking little jeeps that act like ATVs and shit. Like those potentially could be like a thing, like on an actual level. But it's just like, wow, if you Avatar stole a ton of elements from Halo. Avatar did really? Wait, like The Last Airbender or like Avatar? Just want to make sure, because there are two Avatar movies. One of them's The Last Airbender, one of them's actual Avatar. But if actual Avatar did, I see that, like the movie. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. With the actual Avatar movie, yeah, I see the. It's just called Avatar, I think. Yeah, it's the one where they go to the planet and exploit it, and shit. Humans fucking invade, try to colonize the peoples and stuff. Like that one, yeah. Like, I definitely see the elements, but I don't think it's like they necessarily were picking at Halo. I think it's just, I think it was, I think it's just because a lot of futuristic elements have this look, like, because Halo has a lot of similarities to such futurist elements. And with a lot of these movies that take place in the future, like, I think on some level, like, these type of films, especially when they're, like, dealing with other alien races and going to other planets to do shit, like, the vehicles are almost exactly the same. That's what I mean, like, with their vehicles and vehicle tech. But, I mean, I want to say they're exactly, but, the Pelicans, yeah. I would say those are almost a little bit of a ripoff. But they didn't really have warhogs, and I didn't really know seeing jeeps or anything. But for like their big ships and shit, like that big one in the big battle, like that, I don't really. That looks like a kind of a something that they probably worked with NASA to be like, hey, what big fat ship would look cool that could potentially work in this scenario? And they're probably like, here's a layout. They're like, cool, we'll use this and make this a thing. And for like the Super Trooper mechanical things, there's a little bit of an element, because I don't know. Like, I mean, there's some elements. I'll say, that you're right. I mean, there are some elements, but I think it's just because a lot of these futurist movies, that you know, that have elements that are pretty close towards like the Halo films too, because or not the films, but the games. Because you know they also have a lot of elements that are very futurist. So I don't know. I think it's just there's a style, and Halo has adopts that type of style, and that movie also had a lot adopted it too, and was very coincidental. There were multiple live action promos for Halo 3, which is probably what you were thinking of. Probably. That's probably what it was. There was going to be a Halo movie directed by Peter Jackson, but it was canceled. Ah, okay. Probably. Canceled. Probably for the better, but I'm kind of disappointed. Because it's like, damn, that could have been a hit or miss. And I felt like they should have gambled with it. I mean, that's kind of why Hollywood sucks now. They don't gamble with shit anymore. But yeah, I was probably seeing the live action promos because I remember near the end of it, of the one I saw, the Chief, of course, was, you know, featured. And they're like, Chief, Master Chief, and shit, you know, and all that. So, yeah, I think it was a live action promo. I don't know why they did live actions for a fucking video game. Do the video game promo. Like, if you're promoting the video game, do the video game. like if that's what makes sense, you know? It's how... That would be interesting, a movie rendition of the original 3 Halos. Yeah. That might be cool, actually. Probably. The thing is, a lot of these video game movies never really work out. That's kind of why I'm a little... That's why I kind of am like, probably for the better. But in some way I'm disappointed because because there's potential. Like, it can work. It's just I don't think anyone's truly done it correctly. You know what I mean? I'm out for that. Alrighty. I'll probably just wrap it up here anyway. So, smoke a... Oh, I have one bowl loaded up anyway, so I think it's a great opportunity. Didn't really finish this cream, but I'll finish that on my own time. Do that on my own time. Man, YouTube has been like missing lately. Like, YouTube does hit or misses for my streams. And for these last few, they've been shit. I don't think it's like due to notifications or shit. I think it's just due to the fact that, well, YouTube just fucks with channels sometimes. Oh well. At least I was able to have this aesthetic without Joe here being like, torture! Feel to torture! Oh no! No offense, Joe. I love you. It's okay. But I was really feeling this. I really needed this black and white, this aesthetic, just the cream, the weed. I didn't even really smoke that much, honestly. I think I smoked like twice. It's like the least amount of weed I've smoked on a stream. Wow. Wow, really? Damn. Like, I also only know, I do know I only smoked like twice, and I'm about to do my third. So 3 times. Wow. Like, I don't count me, like, going back out a bowl when it's already, like, kerneled and shit, you know, ready to burn again. Like, that's still a bowl. Still haven't cashed it, so still technically 2. So I know I loaded it once, 30-minute mark. Did it again around the hour and a half mark. Now I'm doing it again, an hour later. So, wow. I am moderating. I'm being so moderating with myself. I'm such a responsible stoner. I'm definitely not. Don't think I am. I'm going to smoke like 20 more bowls off the stream. I'm going to make up for the fact that I didn't smoke 20 now. I don't really smoke 20 bowls, but I probably do in like a week. I probably was... not a week. Probably within like 4 or 5 days, maybe. Because on average, I smoke probably like 6 bowls a day. I know 1 in the morning. Usually I'll probably have a couple midday. And most of them probably come from me streaming. And then I have like maybe 1 or 2 before I go to bed. you know, because that helps me go to sleep. So, kind of varies. Kind of varies, but that's generally the average. I would probably say 6 to 8, maybe, give or take. So, anyway. This would probably be my 5th today, but my 3rd all day. Or my 3rd in the stream. Because I had one when I woke up, I had one on lunch, and having them here, so. I didn't really smoke too much today. I did not partake in the cannabis as much as I normally did today. No. My average is my minimal today. I'm proud of myself. Proud of myself. Time to ruin it. Gonna make it like 50 bows now. Instead of 20, it's gonna be 50. Now I'm gonna make it 100. Now it's gonna be 1,000. Oh. A little saliva trying to escape from my mouth. No. No. Okay. That's enough for at least this current moment in time. Well, relatively early cutoff. For the streams, at least. At least for now. But whatever. Peace out to whoever's left. Whoever's watching it. Off stream at this point. Who gives a shit. I don't care. Whatever. Anyway, peace out, everybody. And I'll see you all soon. Next streams, whenever that may be. Probably tomorrow. Might do an early one tomorrow. Do a wake and bake type of thing. Who knows? Alright. Recording has ended. End. There we go.